Paul, let's start with you. I mean, your organisation is worried particularly about the number of young people who are coming forward for plastic surgery. What are your concerns?
Well, you've seen from the figures that the numbers are going up and up. We don't have accurate figures on the young people, but anecdotally we're seeing more and more young members of society coming for cosmetic surgery. And that's a worrying trend for the future. It's a ticking time bomb. They don't necessarily understand all of the risks.
And what do they want in particular? What do they say what's wrong with their body?
Well, it's interesting that yes, you've given the figures on liposuction and breast augmentation, but the problem we see at the moment is not necessarily that patients are coming along with a problem with sticking out ears or a large nose. What they're coming is they want to look different, slightly supranormal, and they're being bombarded with images on a day-to-day basis of the media about what's said to be perfect, about airbrushed celebrities, all sorts of different things. And so there's a lot of pressure out there for them to look better and better. And not necessarily normal.
And Amy, I know you know an awful lot about probably the pressure to always look great, but what a lot of people won't know about you is that you actually started having plastic surgery at a very young age. I mean, you're still very young now, but you were 18 when you had your first procedure. Why did you decide to do that when you were so young?
When I was at school, I was like 14, 15, obviously the magazines and all the celebrities, and you think, oh, you know, you have to aspire to be like these women. For me, I had a really small chest, and I just really wanted to have my boobs done. And obviously now, like going along the line, I now really regret having surgery at such a young age. And obviously what Paul said as well is so true.
So you were happy with the first operation, weren't you, at 18? I know then you became very famous and you've got the world looking at you, but it was the first of a number of operations, is that right?
So I had my first surgery done when I was 18, and then I went under the knife again when I was 22. Like, you know, I was getting free treatments all the time. Maybe won't you have your Botox done, won't you have filler? And then in the end, you get quite addicted. And then in the end, I was quite, oh yeah, okay, I might have a little bit of this, might have a bit of that. I never had a lot, I didn't have no Botox, but I did have filler. And now, as I've got older, I'm now thinking, what did I do?
Because you change a lot. Did you ever think at 18, or you would feel the way you feel now at 23, 24?
No, and that's what I say to the girls now. Girls that come into my shop, I say to them, girls, you need to be really thinking. If you have your surgery done, you need to go to the right, you know, plastic surgeon. You need to really research. But girls just now, they want to go in, they just want to have big boobs, but it's not like that. They have to really think about it.
And Amy, you're not alone, particularly at 18, and I'm sure that's some comfort to you because, Corinne, there are many girls, and I know you probably see girls and boys who you're trying to help, who have a problem with their body image these days. What is going on? Because it wasn't like that a generation ago, was it?
I think there's two or three things. First of all, there's the cult of celebrity, there's the cult of perfection that Paul's talked about. There's huge pressure. And I think we've got this image that somehow we can become perfect. The problem with that, it's not being you. It's being a sort of uniform picture that we all think we've got to conform with. And it's wonderful to hear Amy talking and it's wonderful she's talking to young people about it, because I think what you find as a therapist, you have to sort yourself out from inside out. And that I've seen people who've had many procedures, who go on to have anorexia, who have eating disorders and all sorts of things. It's called body dysmorphia, that no matter how many operations are done, you look in the mirror and you still don't like what you see. And we have to fall in love with ourselves, whether or not we're perfect on the outside.
Maybe you're nodding along there. Would you recognise that? Is that something that you struggled with, do you think, or not?
Not really, no. I was really confident in myself. Like, you know, I was 18, I was really confident. And, you know, as I said to you, reading the magazines all the time, it was very much, you know, wanting to be looking like these, you know, women and everything. But for me, I was quite confident, and I had my surgery done because I had issues in myself. You know, but as I said to you, like all along, that I now do regret it. And I'm telling all these young girls now that it's not the right thing to do, is having all this surgery.
We've got a great picture of you, or there are many great pictures of you, but there's a picture of you on the red carpet looking uber glamorous and beautiful. This is probably taken a little while ago. Actually, you'll probably just tell us when this was taken. Was that recent?
That was about, I think that was about 8 months ago.
And so, and you today, sitting in front of me now, you look very different. I mean, you look very beautiful and very natural. Yeah. So you've transformed yourself quite a lot in just 8 months, haven't you? What have you had? What have you changed?
Do you know what? I took my lip fillers out. And I've just gone more natural. I've always been quite natural anyway, but I think on the red carpet you always want to look quite, you know, a bit glitzy, glamour. And I love, you know, I'm obviously from Essex, and I love the whole glamour and everything.
You're a beautician, and why not?
I'm a beautician.
Now, this is footage that, and you'll be able to explain this to me, what's going on, but you're having your lip fillers dissolved, which I expect was very painful, was it?
It was really painful. Yeah, it was really, all these young girls out there, this is what you've got to watch, and this is what I went through. I had so much I so much, obviously quite a lot of filler in my lips, that in the end it was quite a major lump on my left side.
Yeah.
So I cleared it all out, and best thing I probably ever did.
And the thing is, I know that a lot of your friends, your mum, was very against you because you've got great lips, so why fiddle with them? But you managed to find someone who would do it for you. And I suppose, Paul, this comes back to you now to say, well, you know, you need more regulation, don't you, in your industry? It's a £2.3 billion industry. You're making a lot of money here. There needs to be more protection for people like Amy and younger people. So you say, no, we're not going to do that for you.
Absolutely. We've been calling out for greater regulation and greater control in this industry, if you like, for the last 20 years. Indeed.
Calling out for greater control, can't you just do it yourself?
Well, you can't actually, and we're trying to do that from within our own body. We're trying to regulate our own surgeons, but there are surgeons
You're trying.
outside.
Is it difficult?
Not for our own surgeons, but out with our associations. There's no control of surgeons coming from abroad, of not even surgeons practicing. I'm sure that many of the doctors out there putting injectables in to patients aren't qualified at all.
Which is a frightening prospect,
A frightening prospect. We've asked the government to get involved here and step up to the mark and produce some legislation, and they've backed away from that this year.
Just quickly, Corinne, ultimately you would like to talk to young people before they get to a plastic surgeon's office.
I also
what would you like to say to them?
I'd like to say that plastic surgeons, that there ought to be a rule that everybody has at least 3 therapy sessions or counselling sessions before you go under the knife. Just a cooling off period where you really work out what's what.
OK, and very briefly, Amy, a message to people who are watching tonight who might be thinking of doing what you did?
I just say, really think about it and just go to the right surgeon and just be happy in yourself.